Here are the 9 news and weather personalities preparing for tonight's show. Each wants to win up to £50,000 for charity, but only one can take the money away. The others will leave empty-handed when they're voted off as the weakest link.
It's time for the news and weather edition of The Weakest Link. The 9 people in the studio here tonight either read the news or present the weather. Cheerful souls. And they're here to win up to £50,000 for charity. The bad news is if they want that prize money, they'll have to work as a team. And finally, 8 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Alastair Stewart, and I'm a newsreader and programme presenter with ITV1.
I'm Andrea McLean, and I present the weather on GMTV.
I'm Rob Butler, and I present the lunchtime news on Channel 5.
I'm Shuli Ghosh, I'm the Home Affairs Editor for ITV News.
I'm Nicholas Owen. I'm a special correspondent and presenter for ITV News.
Noswetha, good evening. I'm Sean Lloyd. I'm a weather presenter on ITV1.
I'm Bill Neely, and I'm the international editor of ITV News.
Hello, I'm Kate Garraway, and I'm a presenter on GMTV.
Hello, I'm Ian McCaskill. When I was young and senseless, I did the weather for the BBC.
Now, the rules in each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £5,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. Remember, team, at the end of the round, only money that's been banked can be taken forward. In round 1, there are 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Alistair. Let's play The Weakest Link. First question is for £100. Start the clock. Alistair, in geography, Portugal is a country situated in which continent?
Europe.
Correct. Andrea, in weather forecasting, which 3-letter word is the opposite of wet?
Dry.
Correct. Rob, on a standard clock face, which number is at the bottom?
6.
Correct. Shuli, in language, what tea is a general name for the day after today?
Tomorrow.
Correct. Nicholas, what word, much used in current affairs, is commonly thought to have been derived from an acronym for the compass directions? North, east, west, south.
News.
Correct. Sean, in fun fairs, which living creature was traditionally given away as a prize on the stalls?
Goldfish.
Correct. Bill,
Bank.
in UK politics, the main parties held their annual conferences in which season of the year?
The autumn.
Correct. Kate, in the Navy, a submarine undergoing a descent is doing what? Going up or going down?
Going up.
No, going down. Ian, in maths, what is 20 times 2?
40.
Correct. Alistair, which 3-letter word is a broad category for styles of modern music and another name for a fizzy drink?
Pop.
Correct. Andrea, in communication, what W means to speak or say something very softly using the breath rather than the vocal cords?
Whisper.
Correct. Rob, in literature, in October 2002, the controversial prison diaries of which former Conservative MP were serialised in a national newspaper?
Jeffrey Archer.
Correct. Shuli,
Bank.
according to the lyrics of the children's song, the sun has got his hat on. Hip, hip, hip what?
Hooray.
Correct. Nicholas, in human biology, which body part is often said to be either an innie or an outie?
Repeat the question, please.
In human biology, which body part is often said to be either an innie or an outie?
The foot.
The belly button. Sean, in Greece, which items are traditionally smashed at a wedding reception? Plates or window panes?
Plates.
Correct. Bill, the word mutt is an informal term for a mixed breed example of which domestic pet?
Dog.
Correct. Kate, in TV news and sport, What first name is shared by presenters with the surnames Walk, Young and Gallagher?
Kirsty.
Correct. Ian. In a pub, a final drink consumed before leaving is described as one for the what?
Rod.
Correct. Alistair, in the kitchen, what D is the general name for a machine designed to clean cutlery and crockery?
Dishwasher.
Correct. Andrea, the traditional pirate flag that depicts a skull and crossbones is known as the Jolly what?
Roger.
Correct. Rob, in August 2002, Canadian Tom Comet set a new juggling world record using what? Tractor tyres or chainsaws?
Chainsaws.
Correct. Truly.
Bank.
In customs, a nostalgic meeting between former students from the same educational establishment is known as a school what?
Reunion.
Correct. Nicholas. Time's up, and out of a possible £5,000, you managed 4,750. That is not because you are bright, it is because the questions were pathetically easy. Nevertheless, you did not answer all the questions correctly. So, who should be shown a cold front? Who won't be back after the break? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Statistically, the first strongest link is Shuli. Kate is the weakest link. But who will the players vote off at this early stage in the game?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Nick.
Bill.
Kate.
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 Nick.
Bill.
Sean, how old are you?
44.
Oh, you're knocking on a bit then.
I hope one day to become a weather granny. That's my ambition.
Who chooses your clothes?
I choose my clothes.
Oh, what a pity. Why Kate?
Because Kate, I remember getting a question wrong. And in any case, she has to get up early to work for GMTV in the morning.
And you're not patronising, are you? So, little Rob,
Yes, little Anne.
what do you do?
Present the news on Channel 5, Anne.
Is that why we don't recognise you? Pretend you're presenting the news to me.
Hello, it's 12 noon, the headlines this lunchtime. Anne Robinson is, as usual, being very friendly to all the contestants on The Weakest Link. That's a story you won't hear.
When you grow up, what would you like to do as a big job?
Well, perhaps when I get to be almost as old as you, and perhaps if you've retired by then, I could have your job.
Why Kate?
It was that question about the submarine. I just thought she should perhaps know that a descent meant a submarine would dive.
Bill, International Editor, that's your title, is it?
Correct.
Was that since you asked for a rise and they didn't give you one? Did they give you a title instead?
That's sometimes the way it is, but not in my case, no.
Why Kate?
Well, I had to choose someone who got a question wrong, and unfortunately Kate fitted the bill.
Nicholas, why do you brown nose about the royal family?
I don't, is the short answer
Oh,
to that.
but you do, Nicholas.
But I don't, Anne. I used to, perhaps, but no longer.
Do you read the news?
I do, sometimes.
How old are you?
55.
Do you think if you were a girl with your looks at 55, you'd be reading the news, Nicholas?
Yes, I reckon so.
I think you're dreaming, Nicholas. Why Kate?
The weakest link, really, I thought was myself, frankly, but the only other person who didn't answer a question correctly was Kate.
Did you have an early start this morning, Kate?
Very, very early.
And will you be working tomorrow?
I will be, although maybe not after the performance today.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Eamon Holmes said to me when he knew I was coming on this show, you must be an idiot because you know you're quite thick and you're going to make a fool of yourself. So I feel that I've sort of let myself down but proved him right, which will please him, so he'll be delighted.
Round two, team. So far, you've won £4,750. You're down to 8 players. We are now taking 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's you, Shuli. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Truly, in travel, what P is the term for the document which authorises the bearer to enter a foreign country?
Passport.
Correct, Nicholas. In journalism, the reporting of personal stories about a celebrity that are not in the public interest is known as an invasion of what?
Privacy.
Correct, Sean. In language, which letter comes directly before R in the modern English alphabet?
T.
Q. Bill, in a weather forecast, what word is added to the name of a cloud type to indicate that it's a rain cloud? Incubus or nimbus?
Nimbus.
Correct, Ian. In which decade did Neil Armstrong become the first person to walk on the moon?
The 60s.
1960s. Correct, Alistair. In fashion, which component of a man's two-piece suit can be single or double-breasted?
The jacket.
Correct. Andrea, according to the title of the Hans Christian Andersen story, what's the initial appearance of the duckling which grows up to be a swan?
Ugly.
Correct. Rob,
Bank.
in the media, what expression denotes the description of the latest vogue or fashion, especially in technology? Password or buzzword?
Buzzword.
Correct. Shuli, in September 2002, which international golf competition was played at the Belfry?
Ryder Cup.
Correct. Nicholas, in entertainment, titter ye not was one of the catchphrases of which comedian?
Ask me again, please, Anne.
In entertainment, titter ye not was one of the catchphrases of which comedian?
Frankie Howard.
Correct. Sean. In employment, what E is the term for the financial costs incurred as a result of your job that can be claimed back from your employer?
Can you repeat the question?
In employment, what E is the term for the financial costs incurred as a result of your job that can be claimed back from your employer?
Pass.
Expenses. Bill. In fashion, people who use peroxide to lighten the colour of their hair are sometimes known as bottle what?
Blondes.
Correct, Ian. In TV, which BBC Two current affairs programme first broadcast in 1980 goes out weeknights in the late evening?
Newsnight.
Correct. Alistair, in the 20th century, what was the Creedence Clearwater Revival, a pop band or a political movement?
It was a pop band.
Correct, Andrea. In the UK, making a rude noise with your tongue is known as blowing a what?
Raspberry.
Correct, Rob. In cookery, which four-letter word for a type of light, flaky pastry is also the name of a magic dragon featured in a children's song?
Puff.
Correct, truly. What L can describe either a question designed to bring out a specific response or a gun that contains ammunition?
Loaded.
Correct, Nicholas. In weather forecasting, what is the collective name for water when deposited on the Earth in forms such as rain, hail or snow? Was it on the tip of your tongue, Nicholas? Do you want to let us know the answer anyway?
No, thank you.
You banked £1,500. I wonder whose fault that is. Has Shuli heard her last bong? Has Sean got fog on the brain? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
With the most correct answers, Shuli is the strongest link for the second round in a row. Statistically, Sean is the weakest link as she got every answer wrong. But who will the team want off?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Nick.
Sean.
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 Nick.
Sean.
Bill.
Shuli, just move over to the right, please, off your podium. Put your hands in front, straight ahead of you. Right.
Yes.
Is it necessary when you read the news to have sleeves that are too long on your jacket?
Are they too long?
No.
Thank you.
Did anyone ask you, Nicholas?
It's possibly because I've got very short arms, so...
What's the difference between a Home Affairs correspondent and a Home Affairs editor?
Absolutely nothing. It just sounds better.
How old are you?
33.
Oh, so you won't be reading the news for much longer,
When I get
will
to
you?
55, no. Out the door.
Why Sean?
Because she got 2 questions wrong in that last round.
Not because she's thinner than you.
She's absolutely lovely, that's true. But no, it's because she got the questions wrong.
So, Rob,
Yes, Anne.
Do you pay Channel 5 to read the news, or do they pay you?
They pay me, but they don't pay me as much as the BBC pays you, Anne.
Nobody pays anybody as much as the BBC pays me.
That's why I want your job.
How often do you read the news, Rob?
Every day.
Every day. At what time?
12 noon. 5 news at noon. The clue is in the title.
Have you won any awards, Rob?
Not exactly an award, Anne, no.
Well, what exactly have you won, Rob?
I was voted for once.
Go on.
I was voted the sexiest newscaster of 2000, Anne.
Bet Kirsty didn't like that.
She got the women's title.
Why Sian?
I thought that perhaps Sian should have known her alphabet a little better, and she did pause on another question as well.
Andrea, remind me what you do.
I present the weather on GMTV.
Do you? Move over to the right. See, another... Can you put your arms down? Do you know how irritating it is when you people are reading the weather and you've got those long sleeves in the way when we're trying to see which county you're talking about?
I know, I have been told.
Have you? Well, could you take notice in
Yes,
future?
I will, I promise.
Get back behind your podium. Why Sian?
I hated doing it, but only because she
no,
got
you
it right.
don't.
No, I did, because I know her and I work with her, so... But yes, because she got 2 questions
How old are
wrong.
you?
I'm 33.
Will you still be doing the weather when you're 44, like
Probably
Sian?
not, no.
No. Sian, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It's a bit of a relief to actually be off. I can go home and pore over encyclopedias and learn my alphabet. See, this is the problem. I'm Welsh, I only know it in Welsh.
Round 3, team. So far, you have £6,250. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Shuli. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Shuli, in September 2002, it was announced that the new female co-presenter of the BBC 6 o'clock news would be Sophie who?
Rayworth.
Correct. Nicholas, in charity work, what name is given to the coaches supplied to youth organisations by the Variety Club of Great Britain? Sunshine or Moonbeam?
Sunshine.
Correct. Bill, in UK washing care symbols, a crossed-out image of a square with a circle inside it indicates that which laundry process should not be performed?
Spinning.
Tumble drying. Ian, the expression which is a piece of advice to someone who has unsuccessfully tried out a new activity is don't give up your what?
Day job.
Correct. Alistair, in 2002, female members of which political party were told that there was no obligation to wear bright yellow for the rest of their lives?
Liberal Democrats.
Correct, Andrea. In mythology, what J is the name of the Roman ruler of the gods who was also responsible for rain, thunder and lightning?
J.
Is that the answer?
That's as good as it gets. I have no idea.
Correct answer is Jupiter. Rob, in football, the 1966 World Cup player Norbert Peter Stiles is better known by what nickname?
Nobby.
Correct, Shuli. In money, what is the official currency of the Republic of Ireland?
Pass.
The euro. Nicholas, in literature, books that offer the reader an unreal and fanciful distraction from everyday life are called what? Escapist or elitist?
Escapist.
Correct, Bill. In 1976, which TV newsreader famously showed her legs in a dancing sketch on the Morecambe and Wise Christmas show?
Esther Ranson.
Angela Rippon. Ian, in language, which word meaning very insulting is also the term for a military attack?
Offensive.
Correct. Alistair, in home entertainment, what B is the name of the video format that was launched in 1975 and finally phased out in 2002?
Betamax.
Correct, Andrea. In rugby union, the kick known as a Gary Owen is another term for an up and what?
Under?
Correct, Rob.
Bank.
According to the traditional Christmas cracker joke, what do you call a man with a seagull on his head?
Duck.
Cliff. Shuli, in September 2002, which former Tory health minister revealed in her diaries details of an affair with John Major?
Edwina Curry.
Correct, Nicholas. Somebody who struts in an ostentatious and proud manner is said to resemble which bird known for its large, colourful fan-like tail?
A peacock.
Correct, Bill. In pop music, the group Bewitched had a 1999 UK #1 single with the song... Time's up. I can't complete the question, and that was terrible. Out of a possible £5,000, you only won 500. Who has nothing to report? Who's raining on your parade? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Statistically, Nicholas is the strongest link because he answered the most questions correctly. As the only player to get all his answers wrong, Bill is the weakest link. But whose game is over?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Bill.
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 Andrea.
Andrea.
Ian.
Bill.
Alistair, what do you do?
I read the news for Carlton and LWT, and I present a programme called Police Camera Action.
And where did you used to read the news?
I used to read the news at ITN.
Right. And why do you keep voting for the other blokes who are still on ITN?
I actually vote mainly for the people who've A, got something wrong, but B, haven't banked money.
Why Bill?
Because he got one question wrong and he failed to bank £500.
Tell me, Ian, where were you the night of the Great Storm in October 1987?
I was at London Weather Centre. Yes.
And what were you telling them to tell everybody at the London Weather Centre?
I wasn't telling them anything
Why not?
because I got it wrong.
Are you glad Michael Fish was actually on the telly that night? Why Bill?
Look at him, he's even slimmer than I am. And I had to work at it. He was born that way.
Bill, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
The stakes were high, the pressure was on. I survived 2 rounds. I failed at the 3rd. It was right that I was kicked off.
Round 4, team, and you're up to £6,750. And you're down to 6 players. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. Good heavens. That's Nicholas. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Nicholas, in TV, which early evening programme that began in 1969 was famed for items about a skateboarding duck and a drunken snail which died on the air?
Could you ask me that again, Anne?
In TV, which early evening programme that began in 1969 was famed for items about a skateboarding duck and a drunken snail which died on the air?
Nationwide.
Correct. Ian, on a computer keyboard, an oblique line is what, upright or slanting?
It's slanting.
Correct. Alistair, in government, when a scandal is uncovered and pledges are made to punish those responsible, which body parts are said to roll?
Heads.
Correct. Andrea, in publishing, Hotspur, Wizard and Rover were children's comics aimed at which sex?
Could you say that again?
In publishing, Hotspur, Wizard and Rover were children's comics aimed at which sex?
Boys.
Correct. Rob,
Bank.
in language, what P can mean a body of experts, a team on a TV quiz programme or a section on a door?
Panel.
Correct. Shuley, in the Bible story of Noah's Ark, which weather feature appeared as a sign from God that the flooding had ended?
Sunshine.
A rainbow. Nicholas, in TV news, Michael Burke became well known for using what cheeky gesture at the end of bulletins?
A wink.
Correct. Ian, which word follows candy in the UK and fairy in Australia to make the name of a type of spun sugar confectionery?
Sugar candy. Sugar.
Floss. Alistair, in October 2002, a scientific study discovered no correlation between the size of a man's feet and his what? Bank balance or private parts?
Private parts.
Correct. Andrea, in the animal kingdom, which rodent was blamed for the spread of the bubonic plague in the Middle Ages?
Rats.
I'll accept. Rob, in photography, which primary colour precedes the word eye to describe the effect when light from a flash is reflected from the retina?
Red.
Correct. Shuley, in theology, what O is a word meaning all-powerful, which is used to describe God?
Omnipotent.
Correct. Nicholas, who
Bank.
became the first newsreader on BBC television in 1954 and also narrated the 1970s children's animation Mary, Mungo and Midge?
Could you repeat the question, Anne?
Who became the first newsreader on BBC television in 1954 and also narrated the 1970s children's animation Mary, Mungo and Midge?
Kenneth Kendall?
Richard Baker. Time's up, and you won £2,000. But whose forecast is gloomy? Whose bulletin is over? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
According to the statistics, Rob is the strongest link. Ian is the weakest link. But will the team have noticed that?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Nick.
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 Ian.
Andrea.
Nicholas.
Rob, apart from my job, what else would you like to do in big grown-up television?
Do you have something in mind?
Well, I just wondered if you'd be any good at light entertainment.
I'm not sure I could quite manage that.
Well, let's give you a little audition.
Oh, great.
Could you tell a joke?
Yes, what do you call a man with a seagull on his head?
Have you worked on your sexy image, Rob?
Only with the odd jog at the gym.
The odd who at the gym?
Jog.
Why Nick?
Frankly, to spare him any more of your attacks.
Andrea, on GMTV, why is Eamon Holmes always so grumpy?
I don't think he is grumpy.
Oh, but he is. Do they call him Grumpy Eamon?
No, no.
Oh, what do they call him behind his back?
Just Eamon.
Do they? I bet they don't. Why Nick?
Because he was stumbling as bad as me and I can't vote for myself, so I voted for him.
Nobody was stumbling as badly as Nicholas. He is the special correspondent and you have indeed been especially terrible tonight. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I was not at all surprised that it was me going off at that point. I was just totally amazed I was still there, frankly.
Round 5 and your total is £8,750. You're down to 5 players. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Little Rob. Let's play the weakest link. Start clock. Rob, in sport, a wrestling match with no restriction on moves is known as no holds what?
Barred.
Correct. Shuli, in fashion, which word follows polo, round and V to form the names of 3 styles of sweater?
Neck.
Correct. Ian, in food and drink, what D is a name given to the sediment of impurities that settles to the bottom of alcoholic liquor?
Can you say that again, please?
In food and drink, what D is a name given to the sediment of impurities that settles to the bottom of alcoholic liquor?
The deposit.
The dregs. Alistair, on the day before the great storms of 1987, which TV weatherman famously assured viewers that a cyclone would not cause a hurricane in the UK?
Mr. Michael Fish.
Correct. Andrea, in an army barracks, which building is colloquially known as the glass house, the prison or the showers?
The showers?
The prison. Rob, the hand gesture that means victory or peace is made with the palm facing outwards and 2 fingers forming which letter?
V.
Correct. Shuli, in food, what is the usual English name for the Italian egg dish known as frittata?
Omelette.
Correct. Ian, in pop music, the words I feel Sue Lawley were often infamously sung in place of the correct lyrics of a 1980 hit single by which UK pop group?
You're joking.
No, The Police. Alistair, the magazine for older readers that celebrated its 10th anniversary in 2002 is called what, the Oldie or the Wrinkly?
The Oldie.
Correct. Andrea, in TV, what name that suggests a naval mooring device is given to the main presenter of a news programme?
The anchor.
Correct. Rob,
Bank.
according to The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde, to lose one parent may be regarded as a misfortune. To lose both looks like what?
Carelessness.
Correct. Shuli, which political leader was born first, George W. Bush or Tony Blair?
George Bush.
Correct. Ian, in the English language, which 2-letter word is the normal way of expressing an answer in the negative?
No.
Correct. Alistair, in
Bank.
September 2002, the pop group who had a simultaneous UK #1 single and album are called Atomic what?
Kitten.
Correct, Andrea. In cooking, what D is a word borrowed from weather terminology, which commonly describes a light sprinkling of liquid over food?
Dusting.
Drizzle. Rob, what item of bedding follows security to give... Time's up and you only banked £750. Who's wet and windy? Who's dull and wintry? It's time to vote on the weakest link.
Statistically, Alistair is the strongest link. Ian is the weakest link for the second round in a row. But can he survive another vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Andrea.
Ian.
Andrea.
Ian.
Andrea.
Alistair, do you not do light entertainment?
No.
Have you ever tried to do light entertainment?
I did try and do a quiz show once, yeah.
Oh, really? What was that
It
called?
was called The King of the Castle.
And how were you on that? Stern?
Yeah, I tried to copy you to a degree, yeah.
So you went to Hollywood, did you?
No, not at all. No.
How many episodes did you do?
We did 13,
And then what happened?
and then we didn't do any more.
Why Andrea?
Mainly because of hesitation, I think, and asking for the questions to be repeated, which lost us valuable time, and then we didn't have time to bank.
Ian?
Yes.
You a bit lonely over there?
I'm very happy here, thank you.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why Andrea?
I think she deserves a break. Yeah.
Are you just jealous because she's young and in work?
I think she's a smashing person. And she's a smashing person at 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's hard to do. I know this.
I don't know that the viewers see her at 5 o'clock in the morning. How come you do? Andrea, you are the weakest link. Bye.
I actually think I did pretty well today, considering I am a weather girl and people will automatically assume that I was going to get voted off, if not first, then at least second. So I'm actually pretty impressed with myself. So I've struck a blow for weather girls everywhere, I think.
Round 6 and you're up to £9,500. There are 4 of you left. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Alistair. Let's play the weakest link. Start clock. Alistair, the colloquial term for cosmetics that originally referred to pigments that Native Americans applied to their faces before battle is war what?
Paint.
Correct, Rob. In media, Nan Winton became the first woman to read the news on BBC TV in which year, 1960 or 1970?
1970.
1960. Shuley, in basketball, the dramatic shot in which the ball is thrust into the basket from above the rim is known as a slam what?
Dunk.
Correct, Ian. What B is a French term often applied to a woman's bedroom that literally means a room for sulking?
Boudoir.
Correct, Alistair. In August 2002, the Centre for Clouds, Chemistry and Climate identified a huge brown haze of poisonous ash over which continent?
Australasia.
No, Asia. Rob, a popular chat-up line which contains a demonstrative pronoun is what's a nice girl like you doing in a place like what?
This.
Correct, Shuley. In the 1978 film Superman the Movie, what was the name of the newspaper for which Clark Kent and Lois Lane worked as journalists?
Daily Planet.
Correct. Ian, in sport, what T is the general name for the actual cup or shield awarded to the winners of an event?
Trophy.
Correct, Alistair.
Bank.
In politics, the MP who succeeded Betty Boothroyd as Speaker of the House of Commons in 2000 is Michael who?
Martin.
Correct, Rob. The nursery rhyme that contains the line 3 bags full is about which type of farm animal?
A sheep.
Correct. Shuley.
Bang.
In 2002, which former cabinet minister said he wished he'd made fewer enemies while he was Labour's Director of Communications?
Charlie Whelan.
Peter Mandelson. Ian, the children's game in which players jump over a person who is bent double is called what? Leapfrog or jump toad?
Leapfrog.
Correct, Alistair. The TV newsreader who presented Man Alive in the 1970s and published a book of interviews called Men, a documentary in 1985 is Anna what?
Ford.
Correct, Rob. In
Right.
the UK, the name of what type of beer precedes the word louts in a slang term for young men who behave badly after drinking alcohol?
Lager.
Correct, Shuley. Didn't fancy banking? Home Affairs correspondent.
Editor.
Home Affairs editor. Between you, you've got £1,250. Is Ian hogging the limelight? Is it too confusing for Rob to have an audience? It's time to vote on the weakest link.
In a reversal of fortune, Ian is the strongest link as he didn't get an answer wrong. With the fewest correct answers, Shuli is the weakest link statistically. But will her previous good performance save her from the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Shuli.
Alistair.
Ian.
Shuli.
Ian, do you still exercise since you lost all that weight with the Fit Club?
Every day.
Like what?
I have an amazing bicycle, which I ride about in the front room. It doesn't go anywhere.
Oh. Why Shuli?
The poor kid needs to sit down. I mean, can't you see? She needs to sit down.
Alistair, why Shuli?
I think she got one wrong, and I think there was hesitation.
Well, for the moment, Shuli Short Arms, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well, I think a lot of my colleagues at ITV News might just laugh and point at me because I got the Euro question wrong. What's the currency in Ireland? I should have known that. But hopefully they won't watch because it's over on the Beeb.
Round 7, and you're up to £10,750. There are 3 of you left. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Ian.
Oh, gosh.
Let's play the weakest link. Stop clock. Ian, in drama, what A is a stage direction indicating that words are to be heard by the audience but not by the other actors?
Action.
Aside. Alistair, in pop music, which explosive follows the title Ms in the name of the British R&B singer who won the 2002 Mercury Music Prize?
Dynamite.
Correct, Rob. In architecture, which term for a window in a roof or ceiling takes its name from the sunshine that it lets into the room?
Velux.
Skylight. Ian, in human anatomy, the labyrinth is the name of a system of cavities and tubes in which part of the body, the ear or the heart?
The ear.
Correct. Alistair, in scouting, one of the most famous songs sung round the campfire by generations of scouts begins Ging Gang what?
Gooly, gooly, gooly.
Correct. Rob, what is the title of the 1995 film in which Nicole Kidman plays an ambitious weather girl who arranges the murder of her husband?
Storm Clouds.
To Die For. Ian, in marine life, the name of which flat fish that is found in British waters is also a verb meaning to struggle clumsily as if stuck in a mire?
I'm thinking about it.
No, the answer is flounder.
Oh, dear.
Alistair, in diplomacy, what U is a final statement of terms, the rejection of which could cause hostility?
Ultimatum.
Correct, Rob. In modern detective fiction, the first name of which celebrated Chief Inspector was Endeavour?
Morse.
Correct. Ian, in the names of the UK Broadcast News Service, IRN and ITN, the letter I stands for what?
International.
Independent. Alistair, in London, the exclusive meeting places such as the Athenaeum, White's and Brooks are known collectively as gentlemen's what?
Clubs.
Correct, Rob.
Bank.
During... Time's up. You got rid of the women, you got rid of the international editor, and you got yourselves just £350 out of a possible 5,000. Now, in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank, which means potentially, Alistair, there's £15,000 to be won. Who are you going to get rid of? Are you going to keep on the most handsome person left on the team? Or are the 2 old fogies going to fight it out? It's time to vote on the weakest link.
As the only player to answer all his questions correctly, Alistair is the strongest link. Statistically, Ian is the weakest link with the fewest correct answers. But who will take the final walk of shame?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Ian.
Alistair.
Rob.
Well, we have a three-way tie team. Alistair, Rob and Ian have a vote each. Alistair, why Ian?
It's for charity, and I thought, I can't vote for myself, and I actually thought that Rob and I might get the pot to the largest level.
Good. Rob, why Alistair?
Because I thought I just couldn't do it to Ian, and look at the thanks I get.
Ian, why Rob?
I was rather expecting a bit of geriatric solidarity here at this stage.
Well, when the vote's tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. And the strongest link was Alistair. Are you going to stick with Ian?
Yeah.
Well, statistically, Ian, you were the worst player. So justice has been done. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I've actually known Anne Robinson for about 25 years. I know you'll find this hard to believe because she's such a young chicken, really, but I do indeed know for a long, long time. Yes, it's been all right. I know that underneath she's a miserable cow.
Round 8, team, and out of a possible £35,000, you've got £11,100. There are 2 of you left. In this round, there's just 90 seconds, but whatever you win will be trebled. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Alistair. Let's play the weakest link. Start clock. Alistair, in the animal kingdom, the name of which mouse-like nocturnal mammal is also a term for a bad-tempered woman?
Shrew.
Correct. Rob, the 18th century artist noted for portraits and landscapes who shared his name with a Lincolnshire town was Thomas who?
Boston.
Gainsborough. Alistair, in politics, what type of gate, often a feature of a castle, is used as the emblem of the Houses of Parliament?
Portcullis.
Correct. Rob,
Bang.
in the shipping forecast, the sea areas Seoul, Malin and Bailey are on which side of the British Isles, east or west?
West.
Correct. Alistair, in literature, the title of which novel by Leo Tolstoy means conflict and its opposite?
War and Peace.
Correct. Rob, in TV, the newsreader who famously sat on a lesbian protester during an edition of the 6 o'clock news in 1988 was Nicholas who?
Witchell.
Correct. Alistair.
Bank.
In language, what 3-letter word can mean the seed of a fleshy fruit, a radio time signal, or a spot on
Pip.
dice? Correct. Rob, in weather forecasting, when the wind changes in an anti-clockwise direction, it is said to be doing what? Veering or backing?
Backing.
Correct. Alistair, in the opening line of the much-parodied poem Casabianca, the boy stood on the burning what?
Deck.
Correct. Rob.
Bank.
In children's literature, the twins in the books by Jean and Gareth Adamson are called Topsy and who?
Turvey.
Tim. Time's up, and between you in that round, you managed to bank £1,100, which will treble and add to the winnings from the previous rounds. That means prize money tonight of £14,400. But, of course, only one of you can take that money away, so now you'll play against each other head-to-head. I'll ask alternate questions, best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. So, Alistair and Rob, for £14,400. Let's play the weakest link. Alistair, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'd like to go first, please.
Alistair, in politics, Sam Nujoma, whose speech at the Earth Summit in September 2002 heavily criticised Tony Blair, is the president of which African country?
Namibia.
That is the correct answer. Rob, which American businessman founded the cable news network popularly known as CNN in 1980?
Ted Turner.
That is the correct answer. Alistair, in September 2002, the pregnancy of which British author was greeted in the media with the headline, Potter of Tiny Feet?
J.K. Rowling.
That is the correct answer. Rob, in which former Olympic sport does the winning team move backwards and the losing team move forwards?
Tug of war.
That is the correct answer. Alistair, in science, which word is formed by combining in this order the chemical symbols for tin, oxygen, and tungsten?
Tout.
No, the correct answer is snow. Rob, in art, which modern British artist created a tent embroidered with the names of every person with whom she had ever slept?
Tracy Emin.
That is the correct answer. Alistair, in TV, which two-word nickname for a character in EastEnders was also the nickname of Maureen Connolly, the first ever woman to win a tennis Grand Slam?
Little Mo.
That is the correct answer. Rob, in language, which word meaning a manner of walking sounds exactly the same as the term for the movable barrier at the end of a garden path?
Gate.
That is the correct answer. Alistair, in cookery, what alternative name is given to Jamaica pepper because its flavour resembles a mixture of other spices?
Allspice.
That is the correct answer. Nevertheless, Rob, if you answer this question correctly, you have won. So for £14,400. In September 2002, which DJ became a leading shareholder of Brighton and Hove Albion Football Club?
Terry Wogan.
No, the correct answer is Fatboy Slim. Well, after 5 questions, your scores are tied. So, Alistair and Rob, let's play Sudden Death. Alistair, in which 1938 novel by Evelyn Waugh is the writer of a countryside column mistakenly sent overseas to cover a civil war?
Scoop.
That is the correct answer. Rob, which 1969 Oscar-winning song provided separate UK hit singles in 1970 for Bobby Gentry, B.J. Thomas and Sasha Distel?
Love Is in the Air.
No, the correct answer is Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. That means, Alistair, you are tonight's strongest link and you go away with £14,400. What are you going to do with the money?
I'm going to give it to the Samantha Dixon Trust for Cancer Research.
Rob, alas, you leave with nothing. Join us again for The Weakest Link. Goodbye.
Rob Butler, presenter of 5 News at Noon, through to the final round of The Weakest Link, but scuppered at the last moment with a question from well before my time.
I have covered the Gulf War, I have been to Northern Ireland, I have been to the Berlin Wall. Never in my life have I been as terrified as I was this afternoon, but I have come here, I have confronted the woman, and I've actually won.